Good evening. The good evening meme. Good evening. The fuck? Oh, oh my. Huh. Wow. Okay, cool. What up, guys? Hope you're doing well. We're gonna be, I guess, like looking at new, not guess, but like, we're gonna be looking at privacy news for the week. Some interesting data breaches. Maybe what we can learn from it from an OPSEC standpoint. Why it's important to. What's going on, brother? Why it's important to. Kind of like why privacy matters. It's like a never-ending battle. I mean, you could quite literally. I know like YouTube is kind of an ironic place to be at, but you can 100% make a career out of YouTube and just data breaches. I mean, they're never-ending. There's enough of like those channels around, like, but people will still want to consume. You could do just an entire channel on data breaches and oopsie daisies because of how prevalent they are. There's too many. There's like not only too many, it's not if but when kind of thing. And you should think about data breaches like not all the time, but you should think about them to a certain extent, not if but when. What information is going to get leaked? Does it matter? Do you have a generic name? If your name is John Doe, unironically, or John Smith, unironically, then you're probably okay. Like, if your name just gets fucking leaked out there, like, oh, it's John Smith, it's probably made up. Your parents thinking ahead of time, being like, you know what, John Smith it is, you know, kind of thing. But if you have a unique name, that's not good. That's kind of bad. I mean, it's bad when your shit gets leaked anyways, but I would say that your better option is to pretty much fake all the information. If you order from Amazon, put a different name. If you order from eBay, put a different name. You ordering a package, put a different name. Like, that's the best thing you can do. Just put a different name on shit you don't fucking. You don't have to put, I mean, for stuff that you legally have to put your first name, it's whatever. But I think people should take this into account and use the best anonymous cryptocurrency Monero to segregate the linking of your financial data. Like, everyone just thinks that, like, to purchase Monero and just hoard it and hopefully become a super mega millionaire next year, which you're not. You'd have had to buy Monero like super early which it was harder then than it is now. Now it's, I mean, it's more fringed and harder, and you would have had to hold for a very long time. Like if you would have bought back in like 2014, 15, you would have had to hold through the. I guess if you would have sold at the top was I think like 460 or 450 or something like that. But you would have had to curate a lot, and then you have to convert it to lame cash, and you would have had to pay taxes on it, which also would have been lame. But if you would have had balls of steel and dollar cost averaged up until now, you might have been lucky enough to be able to live off Monero. I mean, now there's more than enough resources to pretty much buy anything that you possibly could. There's so many services. You just got to think about, I guess, like warranties and shit. And how do you keep it on lock, especially if it's expensive? And there's like Cake Pay now. You can buy stuff with Cake. You can use your own node. There's not really any downsides. But we're going to look at the Electronic Frontier Foundation, the breaches 2025, the worst. And these bots. Being a YouTuber or just a person on the internet is terrible now. You interact with so many bots, it's pretty gross. And this is the thing about this is a slight rant. This is the thing I hate about YouTube now. It's not YouTube anymore. People don't, like, I get it, it's a job and people need to feed themselves, and I'm not against that. But this entire site is so riddled with sponsorships and ads. It's unbearable. It's actually a breath of fresh air when I come into a channel and I see no sponsorships, and if I run an ad blocker, I get it. But if I see all that and no sponsorships and no fucking ads, I will just donate money to them. It's like kind of embarrassing what YouTube has become. YouTube used to be like kind of a cool place to come, and if you had like a lot of talent, people would subscribe to you. I'm not saying I have a lot of talent or anything, because I don't. But if you really were ahead of your time in terms of like how you did stuff, it was awesome. It was funny. Now it's just, we're gonna just copy Mr. Beast style. We're gonna copy. I'm gonna say it. Mr. Beast ruined YouTube. He gamified it so much that YouTube was like, there's no other option. And now people just, it just makes my stomach sick. Because like of how like cringe we've gotten. Like I've seen YouTube channels put more thought into their fucking their thumbnail than the actual video. So I don't know. We just hit a kind of a gay area. Yes, it's just slop. It sucks. Like I want to put a banner up that says unsubscribe. I want subscribers to go down because I want them to find better platforms. Unironically. Odyssey's not one of them, though. Even though I'm trying to get their sync tool to work, Odyssey just needs to get their shit together. I would love PeerTube just to blow up and get really popular. PeerTube is where it's at. When I was running a PeerTube server, I had a guy just upload dumb fucking videos of like, I don't know how to describe it. Just like walking on the beach. Just some guy walking on the beach, nothing, just ranting for like 15, 20 minutes, and then ended it. And then like just other random shit. It was really funny. That's like, and there were skits on there, like just poorly. Like I'm tired of seeing fucking movie level like thoughts on YouTube, like movie production level videos. It sucks. Where's the meme? Hold on. I need to play it. Maybe we can discover. Oh, stop it. There we go. Hold on. You ever watch YouTube channel Vagrant Holiday? No, I've not. When a YouTuber puts more money into the editing and everything, like I used to kind of like. There's some channels that I've watched for a long time, and they've stayed pretty like consistent to like their old style, and they still do fine. Like this whole like quit getting a studio as a YouTuber. Stop getting studios. Stop putting all this money into fucking studios. Like studios need to be like the meme that like podcast equipment needs to be more expensive. Studios need to stop. It's gay. Nah, he's cool. Channel, I promise. I'll check it out.
I'm Michael Jordan. Stop it. Get some help.
That's my, what's it, Vagrant Holiday? Oh, the fuck? Oh no, DMCA strike immediately! I think it's cool when I'm done with videos. No more I'll be posting here. I think it's cool when people I think it's cool when people take their artistic perspective, and that is the purpose of their channel, is to use YouTube as a platform that's free. And they make something from their ideas. That's completely, like, I think that's if that is like one of my favorite channels is Technology Connections. It's awesome. He's like very simple. He's got a very simple, non-over edit, literally fucking just lava lamps. This style is like fucking like 2010 YouTube. And it's just, let me see.
They get canceled, the border's closed, there's been nothing going on for 2 months, and now there's this huge protest. The border's closed.
Well, the world has gone to shit. The only choice. And this might not be the fact that it exists at all.
I would even say that this POV is cool. I'll watch these later. These seem cool. I don't want to steal his content. My reactions will not add enough to... Actually... Where is it? He travels and sleeps for free in bushes and parks. That's awesome. There was a YouTuber that used to just go around and film people. That was it. It was a very weird experiment. Yeah. I mean, you probably get tired of it. You probably get tired of it, you know what I mean? The internet's own boy. Oh, yeah. Hacker Wars. Like, I understand we're going to get better content. We're going to get better, like, acting. We're going to get better videos. But it's just sad because, like, it's not enjoyable anymore. Shorts kind of ruined. I wouldn't say short. No, shorts didn't ruin anything. Shorts are fine. I actually have no problem with shorts. There's some stuff that has led me to Shorts is the whole reason I'm doing YouTube, but I don't think shorts are the problem. I think the gamification, because YouTube's long form content is still like superior. Like it's the point. Like we all liked Vine at one point, I guess. Like this wild bicycle journey in France, like 2 hours. Someone just look at that fucking based ass fucking setup too. That is a true cyclist right there. Huge balls. I miss running a PeerTube server. Maybe I might one day again. There's a reason I don't. It's just very. It's very. You have to moderate a lot, especially when people are uploading videos. Like you have to not only moderate a lot, you have to think about signups, storage, bandwidth, redundancy. People will get mad when internet go out. It'd be cool. I actually watched a video on becoming your own ISP. It's kind of cool and surprisingly. So I found out the internet. This is kind of crazy. When you start, say you wanted to start your own internet provider, not for money, but like you just want a private internet. Other internet providers can reject your peer-to-peer request. West, y'all. What's up? Your own. If you became your own ISP, this guy does a really cool video. It's like 30 minutes. It's relatively new.
At least he warmed you up and speak the way first.
German. He's a knock engineer. I think. What's the anonymous place to watch your stream? You just can't talk unless you unfortunately donate. I'm trying not to. The anonymous place is to not watch me at all. Watch me from watch me later in GrayJ. Well, GrayJ would be anonymous. But it's on Android, so you have to do it on. But if you want to watch it live, I believe you can do it here. Oh, is this the vid? What would be required to become your own ISP? So there's two options. I ran down this rabbit hole many times before. Option one, you buy from a major provider, and you get a backbone internet, and then you have to get a set of ASNs, and then you have to buy a block of IP addresses. GrayJ has a desktop app too for Linux. I did not know that. I know their main focus was Android for a long time. I haven't visited this XMR chat. Yeah, no, it's not. It's not for the money, trust me. But if people want to watch it without having to use GrayJ or anything, they can just watch it freely in there. They don't have to comment or anything. XMR chat is pretty base though. I like it. So you have to buy. You have to get an ASN is like an assigned number. I have to like look up the actual technical definition. I'm not super smart. I believe it's an ASN number is an autonomous system number is a unique identifier assigned to the autonomous system, which is a collection of IP networks. Oh yeah, it's part of the broader gate protocol. So it's kind of interesting. From what I understand, if I'm not incorrect, I cancel this. Say this, you want to be an ISP. All of the internet is just, and not even kidding, from watching this video and just reading, I learned a lot from this video. Very smart person. Definitely go watch it. We can watch like parts of it. Everything is just peer-to-peer. So here's Google, one of the biggest internet providers, and if you just remove the idea from DNS from your head real quick, you have to pretty much pay a lot of money in the beginning. It's very expensive, but say you have Google and then another just huge provider, ISP provider. I think you could do Backbone Internet, which is from Hurricane as well. You will make a request to go somewhere, the internet. Say you want to go to no cloud. Here we go. Say you want to go to bigmilkers.com. If you want to go to bigmilkers.com, from what I understand, Google can come in and pretty much block it. They can block it. They can block you. Oh, wow, there's more stuff than... Where's the next? Can I get a block? Is that an X? Let's pretend this is an X. They can block you from going there. They can block the peer site. They can block your connections. They can block you from operating because you look like untrustworthy. I believe that's what I got the gist of it. It's kind of crazy. Linus drinking a beer.
I'll tell you about that later. And I'm also a member of the Code Clue Association, which is a group.
So Code Clue is like a group where you can kind of buy into. You can buy into a way to buy a set of IP addresses much more affordable and much faster.
I have another title that was given to me supremely. The Internet about how it acts, right? About RIC. And RIC is a custom.
He explains this really well. Privacy. Hell yeah.
Of KPN, which is an evil ISP here in the Netherlands.
So we'll watch this part right here. We'll cut this up right here. I will give Europe's, when they care about privacy, they really fucking hate the companies and embrace it. It's not collectively a thing in Europe. Besides maybe some like very select countries like Germany, but that's because they went through some shit. You know what I mean? Like there's some no shit. Does this mean that you as an ISP could block Google? Yeah, I mean you could block Google. Technically, you can do that now. You can block Google on your DNS level and the router level, and I mean a lot of shit wouldn't work. Is this a CCC chat? What do you mean by CCC chat? You can block Google on a lot of levels, just a lot of the internet wouldn't work. I mean, a lot of the internet runs on Google.
Rest in peace, access for all. So, Rick wants to watch a YouTube video, and he typed...
He explains it really well.
And let's forget about the DNS stuff for a second. KPN makes sure his computer can connect to Google.
Yep.
And then Google knows where...
Like Google, like, because they're one of the big DNS providers. They're a top level domain. That's what most people use. That or their routers, like their routers DNS provider. Your computer knows exactly where YouTube is, kind of, if it's been cached or been there before. This is why, like, if you've ever cleared your cache, like some stuff loads a little bit slower because it has to re-find it. This is why when you run a local DNS server, again, not for privacy, but for security, you can actually, there is a slight privacy benefit because you can grab everything locally. Must secure the line. Yeah, of course. But computers generally don't go out after listening and watching what DNS is for 100 times. Your computers generally don't go to YouTubeserver.com directly. Oh, Chaos Computer Club? I don't know. I don't think so. Is that a real thing?
Where the video is that Rick wants to watch. So underneath, like we're talking like Google and KPN, but underneath these are AS numbers. We use AS numbers to describe networks on the internet, and AS stands for Autonomous System.
Wait, but the meme is real though. Wait, it's all peer-to-peer? Always has been? Like, I wish we had the fucking astronaut meme. They're like, wait, the entire internet's always been peer-to-peer? Always has been? Better just have a list of its then use DNS. Companies change IP addresses a lot. You're better off just using a private DNS, like a DNS company that respects your privacy. Quad9. IP's not. No, it's not. It's yeah. Yeah, but like, you're just better off using like Quad9 or something. Quad9 is pretty efficient. I mean, DNS has to be fixed DNS has a problem. But again, DNS, it's not really easy to make it private because of how it works. Even with encrypted client hello, it's not really there. That's why there is some truth to VPN's claim. Yeah, bro, CC is the OG of DEF CON and Black, all that shit is super old school German site. Oh, I did not know that. I refuse to go to DEF CON now because of the price of it. I wanted to go for a long time, and that shit, DEF CON's not Black Hat price. I'd rather just check out like B-sides or something like that because it sounds cooler and it's not $500. Sorry, DEF CON. I know you got a cost, but goddamn.
So the path looks like this. We got AS1136, which is KPN.
So you can purchase these ASNs, from what I understand. Mulvet DNS or Crypt DNS would be cool. I forget. Are you talking about DNS Crypt? Yeah. Oh, DNS Crypt. But it's more for authentication if you're talking about DNS Crypt. DNS Crypt is, again, it's not really a privacy feature. It's more of an authentication. There's GreedCon. Yeah, kind of. I mean, you got to make money, but damn, dude. $500 is crazy.
AS1136 knows how to reach Google, which is AS1569.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
And then
Based?
there, somewhere within that network, there is a YouTube video. Probably this one.
No, you're good. Yeah, DNS Crypt is cool, but it's not really practical from a privacy standpoint. And websites don't have to. Websites can ignore it. They don't have to respect it. They've also proven that like running it's still, you kind of know where people are going. You just don't know. Your better option is just a VPN. I'm not trying to shill VPNs as a silver solution, but it's a tiny part of the puzzle. But it's still a good puzzle. It still does its job at the end of the day. It conceals your traffic. The encryption that they talk about, the tunnel encryption, is retarded. The only thing I don't like about VPNs is their marketing is really gay. 99.9% of the internet's encrypted. Now, if your security level is high, like very high threat, and you want to make sure that nothing has maliciously been done between you and the server, absolutely, DNSCrypt is amazing. That's what its job is to make sure that every site that you visit nothing's been modified. So it's an authentication checker, from what I understand. And it being an authentication checker, it has a lot of security benefit, not privacy benefit. But security can be, I mean, what would you rather go to? A phishing site and get cooked? Or, I mean, DNSCrypt is, like I said, it's authentication. It's cool. It's definitely useful. But I think people they see the word crypt and they think something else. So pretty much it's a network protocol that authenticates and encrypts. It does the domain name system, DNS traffic between the user's computer and recursive name server. DNSCrypt wraps unmodified DNS traffic between client and DNS resolver in a cryptographic construction, preventing eavesdropping and forgery by a man-in-the-middle attack. That's really what it is. But it's Quad 9 can do it. But where is it? They have a really good chart for this. It's very easy. Where is it? Okay. Control D. Rethink. Oh. Where is it? Right here. Encrypted DNS will not encrypted DNS can refer to a number of protocols, the most common one being DNSCrypt, DNSLTLS, and DNS over HTTPS. Why shouldn't I use DNSCrypt? The location of where the internet traffic filtering or censorship visiting forbidden resources may have its own consequences, which consider your threat model. We do not suggest the use of DNSCrypt. For the purpose, use Tor or VPN instead. If you're using a VPN, you should use the VPN's DNS servers when using the VPN, blah, blah, blah. They pretty much go over they have a really detailed, right here. Should I use encrypted DNS? Start. Trying to be anonymous? Yes, use Tor. No, avoid censorship. Yes, use VPN or Tor. No, what privacy from ISP? Yes, use VPN or Tor. ISP makes obnoxious redirects. Use DNSCrypt with DNS with third party. Does your no? Does your ISP support encrypted DNS? Use encrypted DNS with ISP. Do nothing. Simplest chart to understand. Where people misrepresent it, you just read the whole thing. It's really interesting. And then you have DNSSEC that does the authentication, and then QNAME minimization. DNS is a very complicated and the last kind of part of the puzzle of being private as possible. But again, a lot of these protocols weren't really meant to be private when they were written. They didn't think the internet was going to take over and you were going to be able to goon on your phone at 3 a.m. I mean, look how hard it was Tune and Noda had to rewrite their entire email structure to make it work.
If you wanted to map the internet on on a picture,
but this is a very cool.
Very messy. It looks something like
look at that, and it's all leading to OnlyFans and Pornhub and Beer.com.
So a better way to understand what's happening is to use a tool like Traceroute or, in my case, MTR.
Guys, I learned Traceroute. I'm a hacker now.
This is an example of Traceroute from...
I think that's an IPv6. Those are all IPv6, I believe. This is actually one of the arguments against IPv6 because there's too many things that can make it go wrong. And not only that, it's so unique still, even though it's been around for quite a long time at this point, and it was supposed to replace IPv4. It looks more unique, and because it looks more unique, you can actually. From what I understand, there's too many fuck-ups that can happen that could leak sensitive information. And then on the uniqueness, IPv6 looks unique because it's less used and hated.
On my laptop here at the event, thanks to Event Infra, to what is it actually? It's y2025.org. And you can see that that it's very close. There's almost no networks in between. It's just this is Event Infra, AS what is it 64404. Then there is an IXP in the middle. What if some other entity?
So this is like other routers.
Well, it's very simple.
Here, this is where he explains it. Cables, pretty much underwater cables. Respect them, love them. Don't be mean to underwater cables, and actually think about them tonight.
They use cables. It looks like this. Most people use fiber optics, but it can be anything. And there are basically two ways to connect your network to the rest of the internet to become sovereign on the internet. One of them is peering, which basically means directly connecting to each other.
Cheap, best connection, but you can't connect to everyone. So you can peer. You can also do peer-to-peer networks. So say I have the entire internet downloaded on my PC somehow, and Uncommon Sense ASUS and then Jay Illis want to see, fattitties.com. And I have a DNS resolver that has it pointed to that static file, and all they do is just go to their browser. They can technically reach that if they're connected to my network. This is why you could build a really extensible intranet through nodes and hops, and obviously it's not going to be as good as like the internet you see today, but it can definitely be done in a sovereign way. It's not impossible. It just kind of depends what kind of internet do you want to see. Do you want to see videos? Well, you need a lot of bandwidth to work with, and you also need the software to make it work, etc., etc. You could, like I said, I could shut off my internet right now. My Proxmox server will still run. I'm considering getting my own NTP server at some point in the future, because I want to have even my own clock to be internal, so there's no VM time drifting. There's no virtual machine time drifting, which would be another step away from public, maybe not good services, and it makes me more sovereign from the internet. I'm not using. You can make your own NTP server for really inexpensive off-the-shelf hardware, like a couple $100 with a Raspberry Pi, and you can use actually satellite to make it work. You can take a satellite GNSS module, put it on a Raspberry Pi, install some software, and make sure it has good line of sight of, like, you're in an area with a lot of satellites and shit, and you can use those to rely on accurate timing to a good degree, especially if it's local.
Say you have a regular data center with your favorite cat pictures or something that you want to host.
Hell yeah.
And then you want to connect to your neighbor who is an ISP. He has eyeballs, as we call them, people that want to access stuff on the internet. Then you could just put a cable between your two routers, and then exchange traffic.
Yep.
But if you had to get a cable between everyone in the data center, that would get quite messy, right? So there's these platforms you may have heard of, AMCX and FreeCX. 3Six is my favorite, by the way. The guy that runs it is on the event, or he might have already left. I don't know. But these guys, what they do is they put up a switch, and it's just a basic switch like you put up at home. A little bit different, but same principle. And you can exchange traffic through that. So that's just one cable to connect to many networks. But there's a small problem, right? You cannot connect to every network. There's just a select list of networks that are on this internet exchanges. But there's a small problem, right? You cannot connect to every network. There's just a select list of networks that are on these internet exchanges. And that's why there are different internet exchanges as well. Some
Wow, so cool.
maybe other networks that you want to connect with than other IX.
And this is actually when last night we were looking at YDDG's Rail. I got it to work. Like I said, I can get it to work really well on my phone for some reason. I found other sites I could just visit via that, and it's actually a way to set up a local email server where your phone acts as the SMPT and POP3 like portion of it, where you can exchange emails on a local area network, and then as it grows and grows, you can just create an entire mesh network of your emails being sent through it, and you can use Delta Chat, which forces encryption via PGP. Wow, this is cool. Liberty Communications. PeeringDB is a freely available user-maintained database of networks and the go-to location for interconnection data. The database facilitates the global interconnection of networks at internet exchange points, IXPs, data centers, and other interconnected facilities. It is the first stop in making interconnect decisions. The database is nonprofit. Very cool. Huh. I'll have to look more down this. This seems pretty cool. Peer-to-peer networks is awesome, and I love them, and I appreciate them probably more than anything. We believe in a settlement-free peering and low-tech websites. 10 gig, 40 gig, 100 gig ports are free of charge. If you're interested in joining FriesX, please send a mail. .NET. See our information on PeeringDB for more information. Find our member list here. Have a public joining requirements are having a valid public ASN, having an up-to-date PeerB information, peer freely, having up-to-date RIR, who is information, is willing to use the route servers available, only send traffic to destinations advertised by the broader GATE protocol on the peering land. Only sends traffic does not send any multicast except ARP and IPv6 ND packets, and will not advertise the Fries IX addressing space outside of the Fries IX infrastructure. Very cool, very based. Low-tech websites are my favorite.
So you have to compare and make a choice what IXP you want to join. Some charge a monthly fee, some don't. Some offer 100 or 400 gig ports, some offer 10 gig or 1 gig ports. So there's a choice to be made then. But that only connects you to a small list of networks, so you cannot reach Australia unless you fix the cable yourself. So you need another party. That's where transits come in. And
one connection, all the networks, but expensive. Pay for the bandwidth you use. Cognate is one of those transits, but I recommend Fusix.
These are examples of guys that run transit services. One of them is Cogent. This is not their official logo. I put the clowns notes there because I think they're clowns.
Funny.
And these guys basically are internet providers for internet providers. They offer you a large pipe where you can pull all your traffic through, and these guys do. And how much they charge is depending on your volume and cogent. And they don't know the meaning of the word no. And they lie Anyway, so
That's my. I'm gonna get an ASN called Freedom ASN.
I talked about how KPN connected to Google, but you need to configure something on those routers, right? So how do they actually know how to reach me? Now that I've heard of in the news, because if something goes wrong with BGP at, for example, Facebook, then
You know, like it's always DNS meme. It's always the broader gate protocol meme.
the world breaks down or something.
You can even make your own 4G, 5G private cell network. It's completely possible. It's, I think, legal in the U.S. As far as I know. I'm not entirely sure like how it. I mean, but you can do it with off the shelf equipment with like an SD. You can do it. You can do it with an SDR, 100%. Which is kind of cool.
And BGP basically works like this. And I chose Freedom for this example because I think they're a lot better than KPN. It basically starts with the router of Freedom saying, "Oh, what up? I am this ASN number and I have this prefix. If you have traffic for me, please send it my way." And what a prefix is just a set of IP addresses, right? So this is a /22, which means to say this right, 1,024 addresses.
1,024 addresses. That's not a lot.
So they sent that to Google, and then the direction changes. And Google says, "Hey, if you have spicy DNS traffic for me, please send it my way." So this may seem insecure to you, because what is preventing some other party saying they're Google or saying they're a bank or whatever? That is a real problem, and it has happened in the past where accidentally or not someone announced IP space that isn't theirs, and that means that stuff breaks or attacks get executed, and we don't want that. So we have a thing called RPKI, where we can actually sign the prefix with the ASN number. So if a prefix comes from a different ASN number, the traffic should be dropped, but not every ISP has implemented this.
Oh, damn. Look at that copyright word. Is broader gate. You have a good mic. I can hear you pretty. Oh. Maybe I just fixed my audio. And my autism kicking in. But look at this copyright policy. Is Broadergate Protocol Safety.net. You know what's funny? I thought about getting a new mic, but I don't know if I ever will. I think my mic will have to die. Honestly, before I have to get a new one.
You can check that on bgbsafetyapp.com, which is a service operated by Cloudflare, by the way, an American company.
God damn it! It's always Cloudflare.
Always. And NetLabs has a testing page. Check if your ISP implements RPKI, because you want to be safe on the internet.
I should check that later. Guys, remember to check if your router supports RPKI.
It's very easy to do this as a owner of IP space.
It's better than one you had in the beginning. It's the same mic. I promise. I just did not know how to correct I corrected my audio. I mean, I did watch like 16 tutorials on how to fix the audio. And I also put some sound dampening in the background, kind of. And I learned where to position my mic as well. I used to position my mic in a shitty way. I'm telling you, I promise. I watched a lot of grueling, boring-ass videos on how to do mic placement. No, it's crazy. It's crazy what a slight amount of filters, a pop filter and sound dampening will change. Thanks, appreciate it. My mic was terrible in the beginning. Because I go back periodically. I'll go back and watch some of my own videos. to be like, oh man, that sounded like shit. No wonder no wonder the retention rate was terrible. I'd leave too.
Button, but for an ISP, it's a little bit harder to implement because their router has to perform validations. Still, it looks like this. And then it starts with
You're connecting from IPv6, example page, Looking Glass.
how do you actually start one of these networks?
Here's the crazy part. This is where guys are going to see the price, and it's actually insane.
It's very easy. You just need a router, some internet resources, and some place to connect your yellow cable to. So, if I say router, and I talk in the term of ISPs, you're probably thinking something like this, right?
Hell yeah! Look at that router. That looks like a campus network. You can buy these too. They're like campus like servers are like they're thousands of dollars, but they're really cool.
This is a very nice space here. Don't buy it.
Watch, he'll show like a TP link with open WRT on it or some dumb shit.
Instead, you could use something like maybe this.
Okay.
They can be very cheap. In theory, you could also use
You might run into trouble with the FCC. As long as everything's legal, you'll be fine. That's the Federal Communications Council. I think they do. FCC's a bunch of pussies though. They don't fucking do shit. You have to be running your own. No, it's completely legal. You'll be fine. They also don't care. They don't care. You have to be a huge. You have to be. First, you have to break the law, and then it's not the FCC coming after you. Second, they hand out these fines all the time to small people, and they never pay them. I listen to a ton of ham radio content. FCC is a bunch of pussies. So you can internally run your own 5G tower on a private net. You can run a private network. As long as you don't interfere with anyone, no one would ever know anyways. All you need is access to an Ubuntu server, SDR, and Dragon OS. I think Dragon OS would be the easiest to get it started, and then an Ubuntu server. Some SIM cards, which you can buy, blank SIM cards, and then you create it's not like, hey, I can do this in like 15 minutes. It's like a weekend project. You could probably do it in a couple hours, but you can build your own 5G network. It's not like, I don't think you can call people outside of it. It's private. It's completely private, so everything's internal. You can even do this with landline phones. You can create your own internal landline phone network. Now, everyone on this private 5G network that you assign all these SIM cards to, it's not like you just, guys, I just found out a way to have free data and free talk and text, etc., etc. Like, here's the hack. It's a private network. It's completely legal to run. You're not working with the public. But again, I'm not a lawyer or your lawyer, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. Oh, sorry, I paused it.
Will be fast enough. You could use something like maybe this. They can be very cheap. In theory, you could also use a Raspberry Pi. It's probably fast enough. Can just be
Imagine you starting your own ISP and people using it, and you're like, oh, it's just a Raspberry Pi, guys, don't worry. Oh, that'd be funny.
Your computer, you can also get some purpose-built device. It doesn't really matter as long as it talks BGP and isn't too.
I believe a lot of people that work with MikroTiks, I think there's a MikroTik person on the internet I watch sometimes, and they had a whole section of the broader Gate protocol. It's crazy cool on like how it works, but it's also paper clips away from like always like being an oopsie. It's like DNS.
The week, it basically needs enough memory to load all prefixes in the world in its memory table and to make calculations when something changes. Which
God, what a terrible time to talk about memory too. RAM is just too expensive.
it regularly does. So then we need some internet resources, some numbers, right?
This is like the ASN part.
So you need an autonomous system number
And then you need a section of IP addresses. That's what it was.
and some IP addresses, which will be your own, which is cool. So ASN is pretty easy to get. IP6, also there's enough. IPv4 on the other hand is a big problem, as we may or may not already know. I looked up yesterday what the prices were. IPv4, this is prefixbroker.net, where you can buy IPv4 space. So if you want a /24, you pay like almost 8,000 euros, and this is before tax. So
To be honest, that's not really that expensive when you own the IP address. Like you get 256 IP addresses, but you own them. Divided by 8,000. Wait, 8,000. Let me just put it in American. That's 10,000 right there. Divided by 256. It's like $40 an IP address.
most don't yet support it, especially in the Netherlands where we're bad about it. There's one ISP called Oligo that still hasn't implemented IPv6, and they're like what?
How much for what? The IP addresses? It's right there. It's like $8,000. How much to start your own 5G tower? So you can get like a Blade RFS. That's the most expensive, or like a Lime. SDR, like a whole setup, like $1,500 probably. Like a good, if you want like all the equipment, the server, the space, the SIM cards. You could probably get it cheaper though, probably like 1,000. I've looked into like the pricing of it and everything. It's just not. I wouldn't. I'd like to maybe do it on the cheap, but oh yeah, never mind.
One of the last big ones. So I'm going to tangent here for a second. I made a website, heetolioal.nl. It looked like this. And then each of the words of their slogan that come also linked to a ISP in the Netherlands that does have.
You can use a Blade or a Hacker RF. You can use any software-defined radio, really, that supports pretty much. They make so Heltec makes the equipment too. By the way. Now, if you wanted to do this, you need full. Yeah, you would need a full duplex. I think Heltec makes equipment for private 5G. Yeah. As in the racing computer engine management? No, these people. Well, they might be doing that, but I think they make a 5G solution. Apparently they don't. Where did I see that? Oh man, it's gonna hurt. Rack, that's what it is. Rack Wireless. These people. My bad. I got the the two only companies. Oh, it's Heltec, not Haltech. Yeah. No. Rack, Rake, whatever the fuck. You can buy. You can. They have a way you can create your own 5G network. Plug and play. It's very expensive though. It's not cheap. It's a couple grand. But if you want an all-in-one solution, powered by Raspberry Pi, you could technically 4G, 5G, NR, public rate internet applications, network frequency band, everything. It has the integrated with 4G, 5G core, which is pretty much what you need. You need all this. ECC. Oh, okay. See, oh, nice, secure peer storage. Yeah, so if you got like an extra $4,000, $5,000, sitting around, definitely check it out. It's pretty cool.
IPv6. Then I thought that's not enough, so the sentence is there again, and I did it for every letter. For every letter in their slogan, there is an ISP in the Netherlands that has implemented IPv6 from a 1 to 0. So call me this. But so right now, can you get them? There's these organizations called Regional Internet Registries, or AIFs. And they're divided across the world.
So they're what the feds are using instead of Stingrays now? If they have like the way to break down, no, you have to go down to 2G. 5G actually, if 5G is properly implemented, it is encrypted. And you can actually, on Graphene OS, I think you can prevent downgrading 2G by turning it off. Like where it won't push you down to 5G. There was an app. Will you use your money? Well, of course. You guys' taxes pay for me to sit on the internet. It's gotta be crazy waking up and being like, yes, the people's money. No, the Fed still use Stingrays though. You could. There's tools that you can kind of figure out that they are.
For Europe and Russia and the Middle East, there is
American Registry for Internet Numbers. All right.
You can see the slides.
I want to know how the fuck these guys got this business though, like model. Like who woke up and they're like, I want to give out IP addresses for a living. You know what I mean? Like, this is such an interesting business to get into.
So we use Ripe. So you go to the website, look around a bit, and you find this page.
These motherfuckers are expensive. This is where the cost comes. Yeah, when I split with my ex-wife, she downgraded, attacked my phone with a 2G. Yeah, you can prevent this by turning 2G off. 5G actually, but a lot of, from what I understand, if I ever find this paper, man, I'm gonna. Long story, but 5G 5G NR is supposed to be like more secure, from what I understand, when it's implemented properly. But I think a lot of phone providers, they don't do that because it costs money.
That's why a lot of money.
Members can have more than one LR account, but they must pay a members and sign up fee for each LR account. Members also pay $50 per. So $1,500 is a lot
For a hobby.
for a hobby.
Business maybe not. For a
He's
hobby,
right.
it's quite steep. And I think pricing is going to change next year.
New members and existing members register additional LR codes can pay a sign fee, which is currently €1,000. So think about that. Next time you want to have a little fun, a little hobby.
Not for the matter. So there's another way you can
All Linux users have an ex-wife. That didn't exist.
obtain these resources. That's, you can become, for example, a member of CodeBlue. You can send a nice email to one of the boards. I think it's the Network Commission, and then they arrange that with Fiverr for a lot less money. We're talking, I think, 50 or 60 euros a year, which is a lot better.
So you can go to these cool guys, Koloku, and you're fucking. They're fucking. German's such a goofy looking language. It's such a goof. So you can do it 100 euros a year, like $100 US dollars a year. You look, check it out.
So you do that, or you become a member of Fiverr. You have these numbers. You have your router. What's next? You gotta connect somewhere.
Stay connected. Is that a Boost? Is that Boost Mobile? Is this the meme?
And the best way to do that.
I love when educated people use memes to explain stuff. It's always the best.
Is to get to a data center, because that's where all the other networks.
Yo, Iron Mountain.
Right? So this is just an example map of networks in the Netherlands. But you probably want to check where the networks are that you want to connect. There's a cool little website for it called PeeringDB, where you can look up basically any network from any company and see what data centers they are in. I should have updated the screenshots. This is for my own network. I call it BHP.radio. It says NICAF, which is in Amsterdam, but recently I also have connected the router in Enschede.
How much is BTC today? $8. $80,000.
Once you have that network, what do you use it for? Well, I can tell you that you're the boss of your own network. You're becoming sovereign on the internet, so. But I can tell you what I'm doing with it and how my network looks like and what I did. This is basically the entire network.
Nice.
So it's a Dell.
MikroTik invention. See, I'm telling you, anyone who does broader gateway protocol are MikroTik fans.
Which are 630 with some disks in it, and then two of these little MikroTik switches which fit in one.
Oh, it's MikroTik. The bottom is in. Guys, why buy Bitcoin when you can buy Monero? Trending up or down?
Very cool. And they connect to several different entities. For example, SpeedIX, FuseIX, FuseX, AMSIX, and NetOne. I want to give a shout out to AMSIX. They recently started the Private Networks Club, especially for people that are running private networks like me, like personal networks. Normally AMSIX charges a fee because they're that large and a huge infrastructure. But for personal agents, you can get a free 1 gig port, which is very cool. FreeSX, by the way, is totally free for anyone still, so connect while you can. And then there's NetOne, which provides me with free transit services for a while. Sometimes I push a lot of traffic to its network, so I'm thankful for every one of these on the screen, but especially those ones. So the software that's running on there is very simple. It's just a Debian.
Boo on the Debian though.
For the operating system. It's the Bird routing daemon for the routing. That's the software you install to make your Linux machine.
Nice
route.
libvirt.
And then there's a libvirt, which I use for virtualization. And then what do I do with it? I run some mirrors on it for open source software. So for example, Arch Linux, Tor.
Based. See, guys, the real goal should be to become your own ISP so you can mirror Linux ISOs. That's awesome. Guys, don't use Qubit torrent to peer everything on a simple $40 Raspberry Pi. Put thousands of hours and dollars into mirroring mirroring Linux ISOs on your own private ISP. True GigaChad moment.
Really,
Ooh.
fast connection for your Arch laptop. You should maybe use my mirror or not. But it's definitely being used. I can notice on my graphs when Arch Linux did a release. Now, if you will, please everyone join me for a ceremonial sip of water for your internet cloud and network support.
Okay. Check that out. Holy shit, I just saw a 60 km pod of fiber optic cable for drone warfare. Where? On YouTube? That's crazy.
Коли дрон заходить на ураження, там в зв'язку з тим, що там немає радіогоризонту, зберігається зв'язок до кінця і
Going to war, guys. I've been convinced to join the Ukraine army right now.
можна точніше зайти на ціль.
A cylinder box strap to a quadcopter. That's crazy. That's insanely cool. They're doing it to evade. You know, much respect to the genius people that figured this shit out. Damn, silver is over $100 an ounce here. I'm a silver hater, though. Jamming devices are unable to serve that hardwired link, but relying on a cable makes drones more unwilling and often slower. Yeah, no shit. It also means drones carry small payloads, boxed with 10 km fiber optic cables. That's sick, though, for them to come up with that in their head. They're like, guys, use fiber. When fiber optic drones reaches target designates the wire. Guys, fiber optic cables are expensive. This is just a way to get free fiber optic cable. I mean, think about all the money you would save if you just flew out to a war zone over there and took fiber optic cable. Did you see the gray pods with the 60 cam fiber inside? The one in this video? 60-kilometer. Fiber optic PV drones. Ugh. Fuck you, MinIO, though, for this one. Oh. Okay. World's fastest drone? No, I don't care about that. Damn. The forest must be covered in spider webs of fiber from all the downed drones. Yeah. And it's a gold mine. Just go in a war zone, man. You'll get it. The DJI fly card. The fuck? Drones are cool, even though we have an air embargo. This video? Oh, the video that we were watching. Oh, the video on this one.
Коли дрон заходить на ураження, там
Oh, this. Oh, this one that has 60 kilometers in it. That's crazy. Wrench me and I'll link it. Women, true. Women do exist. Watch me and I'll link it. Oh, can't you link it here? Or no? What do you mean, women don't exist? No, I can't. Post it on one of my videos. Maybe I'll. Yeah, just post it on one of my videos. I don't know. I don't know why I can't. Oh, hold on. I'm not in YouTube, so maybe I'm not like in my YouTube live. Don't play the audio. Don't play the audio. There we go. No, I can't. Yeah. I don't think you gotta be a mod. Oh. Here. Maybe that. Try it. Try posting link now. Big Chung. Okay, post it in the fake. Oh. Interesting. Oh, okay. Damn you comments. At the same damn time. Heh, take that, YouTube. Damn. Yo! Nice. That's sick. No cap. Very cool. Your video title. What's up, Code? How you doing? That's pretty sick. Pretty cool. Pretty based, actually. Very oh, if the government's buying it, then you know it's motherfucking gonna be goddamn damn near $648 million, motherfucker. All about $345 million and fucking sitting there pee pee poo pooing. I mean, fiber optic cables are fucking expensive, so I can't. Super expensive. What's cost of 1 foot of fiber? Holy shit! Add a few zeros. Thanks, man. Just woke up. Damn. The cost of one fiber optic cable is very significantly based on the type. Oh, I forget. There's different types of fiber cable. The big pee pee poo poo. True. For example, standard single mode fiber typically costs between 9 cents and $1.49 per foot. With a multi-mode fiber, OEM 3, OEM 4 can range $1.50 to $6 per foot. Armored or ruggedized cables may cost $6 to $13 per foot due to enhanced durability. Prices can all depend on factors such as the number of strands, the type of jacket material, and whether the cable is designed for indoor or outdoor. Damn. Privacy. Oh, thanks, Code. Appreciate it. Thank you for waking up and spending your beans, your magic beans. I can now purchase 1 foot of fiber cable, guys. One fiber cable to send out 1 drone. What country is that? Vietnam. We need to bring back the $8 meme though. The icon knows every country, as we learned from GeoGuessr. Oh, I forgot about this. Milk v Duo. And then drinking Linus Torvald. Turkey? I hardly know her. What currency is your donation in? I hardly know Turkey. I thought it was Turkish. That's what they spoke. Magic Beans currency? What about multimillionaires currency? What about 8 inches in thick's currency? What about loving and respectful currency? There's no loving and respectful currency. There's Monero. That's pretty loving and respectful. Monero has always loved and respected me. Fiat is slavery. I mean, you could say any form of currency is slavery. You could say Bitcoin's slavery. I mean, there's actually there's countries that respect like their currency, like they respect the privacy. I mean, money has a problem, and in a financial perspective, money has a problem because it's physical. Physical money has a problem, but it is also a very easy thing for people to understand. Not only fiat with interest. Well, everything has interest. Oh, only fiat with interest. I mean, it depends. It kind of depends. I think people don't understand money and they get irated about it in a sense. And because they don't understand money and they think it's such a money in itself is a terrible asset to own. This is why I know people that are smart don't own assets. They own land is the best asset. Land is the best form of currency. Muammar Gaddafi was loving and respectful, and they pushed his. I don't know who Muammar Gaddafi is. To be completely honest, but the best currency of all is land. Land has the most value. I think that's why people have fought wars over it. No one's fighting wars over money. They're fighting wars over land, and money just happens to be the tool that society uses in its current form in 2025 to obtain some form of finance. I mean, like, it's just a universal agreement. All the countries agree that paper money right now is the universal currency. Before it was gold. Before that, it was like gold and silver, and before that, it was spices. You know, I mean, you can go down a list of. Muammar was against the establishment of, and got cooked. Muammar. Oh, I mean, a lot of people were against the establishment and get cooked. This isn't anything new. I mean, if you want the black pill, the real black pill, it doesn't matter. Gaddafi was Libya's president until Hillary murked him. Oh, Libya's. Gaddafi and Libya. I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to read on that. Well, wouldn't it be Bill? Maybe you should have had better OPSEC, guys. Oh, you got died in 2011? Was a Libyan military officer, revolutionary politician, political theorist who ruled Libya from 1969 until it was overthrown by the Libyan rebel force in 2011, the first Libyan civil war. He came to power through a military coup, first becoming the revolutionary chairman of the Libyan Arab Republic from 1969 to 1977. Secretary General of the General. I mean, I don't know how Hillary would have killed him at this point. No cap. Libya had a free education, free healthcare, got like $10K when you had a baby, free house when you got married, get life, great life, till Hillary and Obama got murder out, and stole hundreds of tons of gold. Why would they steal gold? Gold's kind of... We don't even use gold. Go away! But isn't that just socialism at that point? Aren't people against socialism? Aren't people against socialism until it happens in their country? I'll have to read this real quick. I'm not too familiar with this. Oh, and then the brotherly leader of the Great Socialist People's Liberty. Okay, that makes sense. All of it makes sense, actually, now. Interesting. The Great Socialist People of 2011. Initially ideologically committed to Arab nationalism and Arab socialism, which is kind of a weird thing. He was funding the country with oil sales instead of sun-rich fucking hoarding it all. Sure. That wouldn't be socialism, then. That would be capitalism. He's taking capital and putting it to good. He's creating social safety nets, sure. But it would literally be like capitalism, because that's all capitalism is. It's just to accumulate to accumulate wealth as efficiently as possible. Godfrey later ruled according to his own third international theory. Born near Italy, Libya, to a poor Bedouin Arab family, Godfrey became an Arab nationalist while at school in Sahad, later enrolling in the Royal Military Academy. He founded a revolutionary group as the Free Officers Movement, which deposed of a Western-backed census monarchy of... Monarchy's pretty retarded. Even I think the British are starting to hate the monarchy, which is kind of crazy. Converted Libya into a republic governed by his own revolutionary command council, ruling... Interesting. For the republic. Of Idris in 1969 coup, Godfrey converted Libya into a Republican council, ruling by a decree. He deported Libya's Italian population and ejected its western military bases. He strengthened ties to Arab nationalism government and unsuccessfully advocated for pan-Arab political union. An Islamic modernist, he introduced Sharia law as the basis for the legal system. Yeah, fuck that. Already not feeling bad. Do as you want with your country, 100%. But not feeling bad, because Sharia law is pretty fucking retarded. I don't like any religious ideology ruling any country, though. I think it's bad for society. People should have free thought, free will, or whatever they want to believe in. I don't really believe in free will, but that's beyond the point. He nationalized the oil industry and used the increasing state revenue to bolster the military. So he just did what the U.S. does. Exactly what the U.S. does. Funded foreign revolutionaries and in Parliament social programs emphasizing on housing, building, healthcare, and education projects. In 1973, he initiated a popular revolution with the formation of the Basic People's Congress, presented as a system of direct democracy. That's kind of hard to do in modern society because of just the amount of people that you have. So I'm not saying it's impossible, but if your country is small enough, direct democracy might work. But retained personal control over the major decisions. He outlined third international theory that year in the Green Book. He just looks like a general, not gonna lie. He's got general vibes. Godfrey transformed Libya into a new socialist state called Jamar. I can't pronounce that. He officially adopted a symbolic role in government, but remained head both of the military and the revolutionary committees, responsible for policing and suppressing dissident. During the 70s and 80s, Libya's unsuccessful border conflicts with Egypt and Chad. I forget Chad is the name of the country. That's interesting. What a base place to call. I wrote Wikipedia web scraper in TypeScript. Nice. Based, actually. Now you need to run Wiki.js and make your own Wikipedia. Also, for you doing that, you need to give Wikipedia $2. They probably, in a prompt, even though you were scraping it, it probably still sent a callback to you asking for $2.75 as a donation. I guarantee it. People look at the spending of these companies sometimes, like Wikipedia and stuff, and they're like, "Oh my God, they spent $100 million on like administrative costs." Like, no shit. There's companies that do this all the time. I just think about like people that give Wikipedia so much shit for the way they spend their money. It's like a fraction too. Support for foreign militants and alleged responsibility for the bombings of Pan Am Flight 103 and UTA Flight 772 left it increasingly isolated on the world stage. Particularly hostile relationships developed with Israel, the United States, and the United Kingdom, resulting in the 1986 bombing of Libya. Oh, I forgot about that. I think I learned about this in high school at one point. And the United States nations imposed economic sanctions. From 1999, Godfrey shunned Pan-Arabism and encouraged Pan-Africanism and a rapprochement with the Western nations. He was chairperson of the African Union in 2009 and 2010. Amid the two... Come on. Obama wouldn't do this, man. He's African. That's crazy. Amid the 2011 Arab Spring, protests against the widespread corruption and unemployment broke out in East Libya. The simulation descended into a civil war, which NATO intervened militarily on the side of the anti-jihadist National Transactional Council, NTC. Godfrey's government was overthrown. He retreated to Sirte, only to be captured, tortured, and killed by the NTC military. That's crazy. Well, I mean, if you have a poorly ran country and people are upset, of course. A highly diversified figure, Godfrey dominated Libya's politics for decades and was the subject of Perseph's cult personality. He was decorated with various awards. Libya used to be a catch all the migrants headed to Europe, and they stopped on Libya because life was so good. Sure. Until it's not. I'm not saying like socialism is good or bad or anything, but there are probably good benefits to social safety nets in society. I'm never going to disagree with that. Hey, housing? Probably a decent human right that people deserve. You know, you live in a society, make housing affordable. But again, it's complicated. Would it be great if everyone could have access to healthcare? Sure. I don't think anyone's against these ideas on a personal level. Maybe some people don't really care. Then the U.S. crashed Libya and regime and changed a permanent mass flood of immigration into Europe and the UK. Well, that's not... that's just all of human history. I wouldn't say that's the U.S.'s fault. I don't think they crashed Libya. Libya just looks like it did not. It looked like people were pissed. Yeah, he was. What did you do with the data you scraped? Support for the African Union as well. Many Libyans strongly opposed Godfrey's social and economic reforms. He was accused of various human rights violations. He was condemned by as many as a dictator who was authoritarian administration to systematically violate human rights and finance terrorism in a regime abroad. Early life and career. I use the data for chunking LMM stuff. Nice. You should always chunk LMMs. Military training in the Republic. The flag. Man, can we not come up with new flag ideas? The RCC's early economic policy has been characterized as being state capitalist in orientation. Many innovatives were established and aided entrepreneurs to develop Libyan bourgeoisie. Can't say that word. Seeking to expand cultivative region in Libya. In September of 1969, the government launched a green revolution to increase agricultural production so that Libya could less rely on imported food. The hope was to make Libya self-sufficient in food production. All the land. See? Land. I forget there isn't autark. I think, isn't New Zealand considered autarkish? They don't really rely on internal and external. They're like one of the safest countries. Well, safe is an illusion, but they're one of the most self-sufficient countries I think New Zealand is. I'm going to look into that. It's kind of interesting. But you can learn your OPSEC performance from world dictators that get captured by government entities and tortured. Know to cover your... Learn... See, it seems like this guy should have used Tails in order to be more efficient at his job. Just saying. It sounds like he needed to use Tails. But I believe it's New Zealand that is autarkish. There was hope to make Libya self-sufficient. Irrigation systems were established along northern coastlines and around oases. Production costs often surpassed the value of the produce, and thus Libya agricultural production remained in a defect, relying heavily on state subsidies. Yeah, it's never good. When you're making... So we're one of the biggest producers of corn. If we started losing money on corn, it would not be good to be continued to producing corn. With crude oil as the country's primary export, Godfrey... where have I heard this name before? Whatever. Godfrey sought to improve Libya's oil sector. In 1969, he proclaimed the current trade terms unfair, benefiting foreign corporations more than Libya the state, and threatened to decrease production. In December, Jalad successfully increased the price of Libyan oil. In 1970, other OPEC states followed suit, leading a global increase in the price of crude oil. The RCC followed with the Tripoli Agreement of March 20, 1971, in which they secured income tax-backed payments and better pricing from the oil corporations. These measures bought Libya an estimate of $1 billion in additional revenue in its first year. Increasing state control over the oil sector, the RCC began a program of nationalizing, starting with the exportation of the British petroleum share, the British Petroleum NB Hunt Share Field in December of 1971, and then in December of 1973, it was announced that all foreign oil procedures active in Libya were to see 51% of their operation nationalized, including the stake of Nelson Bunker Hunt, a son of H.L. Hunt, who had played a key role in the discovery of oil in Libya. Among the companies were partially nationalized and Armada Hammers Occidental Petroleum. For Godfrey, this was an essential step towards socialism. It provided economic success. While gross domestic products had been $3.8 billion in 1969, he had risen it to $13 billion in 1974, and then ran out of money in 1975. Hell yeah, America! Just kidding. And then the proven the economic success. Oh yeah, and then 24.5 billion in 1979. In turn, Libya's standard of life greatly improved over the first decade. Godfrey's administration and countries were administration, and by 1979, the average pay per capita wage was $8,000, up from $40 in 1951. This was above the average of many industrialized countries like Italy and the UK. In 1969, the government also decided that all foreign-owned banks must either close down or convert to a joint stock operations. What the fuck? I don't know. That doesn't sound like a good idea, but I'm not an economist at the end of the day. The RCC implemented measures for social reform, adopting Sharia as a basis. The consumption of alcohol was prohibited. Gay. Nightclubs and Christian churches were shut down. Also gay. Traditional Libya dress was encouraged, and Arabic was decreed as the language permitted. Only the language permitted. That's a little retarded, but whatever. I think like exchanging languages is just good for business. Like knowing multiple languages is just always good for business. You shouldn't not know. I don't know. Being like a self-contained autarky is just kind of bad. The RCC doubled the minimum wage. That's retarded. so people complain about the minimum wage a lot, but the issue with complaining about the minimum wage is each state, well, this is maybe purely an American thing. Different states have different levels of income that you can survive on. You're a businessman. I'm not a businessman. I mean, it's just simple economic brain. Like, base economics is easy to understand. Like living in California, people complain about the price, but you wouldn't be making the money you make in California at all if it wasn't like a high sought after place. Like, yes, it's expensive, but you can make more money in California. Just like if you live in fucking Denmark or like Ohio. Like, if the supply and demand of your like if you live in the north, you're going to be a far more efficient HVAC technician and make way more money because you have dual climates, so you have more work to do. But if you need to do he is the bus. But if you have versus like a southern state where irrigation would probably make you more money because it's he is the business. No, I don't know. I just took a basic econ in 101 in high school. And what's up, Billy? Where you been? Basic econ in high school, and it pretty much taught me the fundamentals. Like if you go to like the middle of nowhere, Boise, Ohio, like Idaho, of course the living's gonna be cheap. Because it's just not. It's just there's nothing there to entice for people to build massive amounts of buildings. That's just like, I don't know. Like, if you made the federal minimum wage $35, let's say, like anywhere, or double the minimum wage anywhere, all these actually like low income states. What's good, brother? What's going on, bro? It's all good. You'd be kind of fucked on a lot. Like, you'd be like severely screwed if you're forcing like smaller businesses to operate at a higher cost when you live in a lower cost state. I mean, that's just how economics work. And it's not Walmart that's going to get fucked by it. Walmart doesn't care. They're like, oh, we'll just shut up. We'll just shut down. But like the smaller businesses will get fucked by it because unless you incorporate like a minimum employee cap where like you have to have a certain amount of employees to enforce this type of labor behavior, but that's just crazy. That's too many extra laws to write. I think people should just. You have a good skill? Awesome. Get paid for it. I mean, like, and then just your company should just take care of you and give you a good wage so you can make it to work and not starve and your car not break down. You know, stuff like that. It's just like, you know, just have good employers pay their fair share because you are making them more money, hand over fist. But enforcing a minimum wage would be crazy. It's just not possible. The U.S. is too diverse. The RCC implemented measures of this church's wage, introduced statutory price controls, and implemented compulsory rent reductions of between 30 and 40 cents. Gaddafi also wanted to combat the strict social restrictions they had been imposing on women by the previous regime, establishing the Revolutionary Women's Formation to encourage reform. In 1970, a law was introduced affirming equality of the sexes and insisting on wage parity. Nice. Wow. What a you know what, man? This man seems like a feminist. Very based. He was the performative male before performative males. Him just holding a book, I'm a feminist. Affirming equality of the sexes and insisting on wage parity. Sponsored the creation of Libya's General Women's Federation. A law was passed criminalizing the marriage of any females under the age of 16 and ensuring that women's consent was a necessary prerequisite. Thank God. this man walked by and was like, "Hey, women should be able to consent to their marriage, guys, and nothing under 16." That's crazy. But there are some countries out there just recently changed the age of consent to I would say normal age. Not fucking what you would see pre like 2019 or 2019 or 2000, like early 90s and shit. You're just like, yikes. And if anyone brings up they didn't know better, yeah, they did. We haven't been that dumb for this long. I can maybe excuse like when they were doing like bubonic plague type shit and Ooga Booga time, but not in the last 100 years. 1969 to 1970, it used all its oil money to fund social welfare programs, which led to house building projects and improved healthcare and education. House building became a major social priority, designed to eliminate homelessness and replace the shanty towns created by Libya's growing urbanization. The health sector was expanded in 1978. Libya had 50% more hospitals it had in 1968. And while the number of doctors had increased from 700 to 3,000 that decade, malaria was eradicated and tetanus and tuberculosis were greatly culturated. Compulsory education was expanding from 6 to 9, while adult literacy programs and free university education was introduced. BD University was founded, and Tripoli University and Benghazi University was expanded. In doing so, the government helped integrate the porous, saturated of Libya's society into the education system through the ministries of RCC, greatly expanding to the public sector, providing employment for thousands. These early social programs proved popular with Libya. The popularity was partly due to Gaddafi's personality or charisma, youth, and underdog status as a Bedouin, and as well as Reddick emphasizing his role as successor to the anti-Italian fighter Omar. In my country, the age of consent is 47 years old. You're kidding. That's got to be a meme. Should be 65. Why stop there? Should be 69. Well, women would first have to exist for consent to even be a thing. I do find it quite interesting. To combat the country's strong regional and tribal divisions, the RCC promoted the idea of unified Libyan identity. In doing so, they tried to describe tribal leaders as agents. 1997 Sahad military court, many of them counter-revolutionary activities. Long-standing administrative boundaries were redrawn, crossing the tribal boundaries. Foreign relations. Wow, this is a very deep rabbit hole. Huh. The Great Socialist People's Libya of... interesting. This is the longest Wikipedia I've ever seen. Motherfucker's got a history. It was molded by his environment, namely his Islamic faith, and is discussed at the actions of the Italian colonialism in Libya. That's crazy. The afternoon, NTC Prime Minister publicly revealed that Godfrey's death, his corpse was placed in the freezer of a local market alongside the corpse of... the bodies were publicly displayed for 4 days, with Libyans all over the country coming to view them. Who also did they do that for? Someone famous died, and they were so upset, and they put him in like a glass. Was it Stalin? Or no, was it Mussolini or something? Who's the Italian guy that they're like, oh my god, this is so sad. I should scrape the Wikipedia and put it in a vector database. You should take it and put it in what's the fastest database that we have? Isn't it the one with the I? What's the I? What's the Scala? Scarlet? Lemon? Oh, Lenin. Yeah, it was Lenin. Lenin was the one that his country loved him still, like, so much, and they put him on, like, in a glass, they put him in, like, a glass, like, coffin and shit, and, like, people, like, mourned over him. It was crazy. Fastest. That would never happen in America. I'm trying to think of the last good president we've had where people were sad. Like, the last good president, people were, like, genuinely, like, wow. What a shame that he died. The USSR. Yeah, kind of makes sense. There was a time where people, like, die. I mean, I know people escaped the USSR and they're like, it was the biggest shithole ever. And you had other people that were like, it was great, I loved it, I missed it. Please bring it back. What is the name of that database? It starts with an S. There's something called ClickHouse. What a stupid name for a database. It doesn't have the word DB after it. Apache Cassandra, that's what it is. They used Apache Cassandra, and then it went over to this. Scala. Monsterly fast. There's a monster in it. Book an expert. Close to the metal architecture hinders millions of... This is what I need in my house, guys. In my home lab. This is what I exactly need. I need enterprise level database scalability so that I can have a data center in my house. I am redoing my rack, and I'm going to go against what I said before. I'm going to do a Proxmox cluster again. I want to over-engineer something. And I'm going to set up Ceph, which would be based Pretty awesome. You can get predictable performance at scale. But I remember only Cassandra for one reason. Because it had an interesting logo. Do you mean Retrieval Augmented Generation by RAG? No. I'm not sure of. I'm not. Let's see. A retrieval augmented generation RAG relies on a database to store and retrieve relevant information and to enhancing large language models. The most common type of database used in RAG is a vector database, which stores data as a numerical embeddings, vector representations of text captured to semantic meaning. This is why computer programmers look schizophrenic. It says sentences of stuff, and you're like, that doesn't make sense, but I'm going to do it. Talks and keynotes, videos. Hybrid, fault tolerant, focus on quality. And then there's how many connections? I wonder what they provided guidance in the In telecommunications and networking, the matrix switch crossbar switch can handle. See, this is the join matrix guide, decentralized and secure. This is what you guys need at home, though. A camp. You need a campus switch. You need a Tahoe. Look at that. Look at that data center. You guys need a data center at home. Data center at home. Oh, that's kind of cool, though. Kind of based. Very interesting. Huh. Very cool, very based, very awesome. All right, guys. I have given you 2 hours of my life. I appreciate everyone stopping by and learning about how to become your own ISP so that you can escape the clutches of your ISP when you're pirating legally movies because there is no other option now. Remember to comment on the videos so that YouTube not only knows that I'm a real person and I love their platform and I have nothing negative to say about them. Give me the sweet JSON data. Yes, that's true. Remember to always walk and feed your snails, because if you don't, they will starve and not have a good time. Love you all, guys. I will see you all in the next one.